27 years, I was wishing for a better life. Every day I said, you know what, I want something better than this. I don't want to work my 9-to-5 job anymore. I'm tired of going into work. I'm tired of listening to someone else. I'm tired of getting underpaid. I'm tired of not making enough money. I'm tired of, just not living my life how I want to live. And literally now, over 27 years later, I now live here in Dubai, as you can see, and I've got my own 6-figure coaching business where I have the total freedom to work where I want, when I want, and how I want, and literally have such an amazing life, right? But again, life wasn't always like this, because as I said earlier, I was in that position where for 27 years, I was wasting time thinking that something is just randomly gonna happen and my life is gonna change. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about what I actually did to completely change my situation around, and from going from working a 9-to-5 job in the UK to living here in Dubai and having my own 6-figure coaching business. So make sure you keep watching this video to the very end, because I'm going to explain my full story on how I was able to change everything around and how you guys can do exactly the same. Now, just a quick one, if you do need any help where I can help you start your own online business and scale you to 10K a month, working with me on a 3-month basis, where I'll jump on a call with you every week to guide you on how you can start your own business that can give you total freedom just like mine, well, make sure you click the link in the description below and book in a call with me. And what we'll do is jump on a call and I can see exactly how I can help you. Now, I'm from West London, right? So I'm from a small town in West London, and I've completely changed my life around. I used to wake up to grey skies. I used to wake up to rainy weather, cold weather, right? And I used to think at that time, like, how am I going to change the situation around? I always wanted to move to Dubai, and I knew that was something that I always wanted to do. But again, it was just a wish, right? If I was just going to keep wishing on things, nothing was going to change. And literally, I went to work. I kept going to work. So I'll tell you my full story. I used to work in Argos. That was my first job when I was 17. Then after that, I was working in World Duty Free, where I was working night shifts in a warehouse. So, completely dark. You're not allowed to speak to anyone. They were quite micromanagement as well there, because, you're not allowed to speak to anyone, and they kind of keep an eye on you very, very hard. And it was actually so bad, someone committed suicide at work. And so that was one. Then after that, I joined Sky. Now, Sky was a big company. I was doing uni at the time. And I said to myself, I'm going to work in this company and just sort of move my way up, which is what everyone thinks when they join, a big company. So that was my plan. I was doing uni alongside Sky, right? Uni was a waste of time, by the way. If you guys are potentially going to university, or you're thinking of going to university, or you're in university, it's honestly such a waste of time. I wasted so much time going to university. The only reason I did go to uni was to make my parents happy, but apart from that, uni is just a piece of paper, and you pay 9 grand a year for some piece of shit, basically. So back to the story. So I was working in Sky. As I was working in Sky, it was getting long. We were on the phones, so it was a call center, and there was so much pressure on you to sell. I mean, look, I look back at that experience now and think, I'm so glad I learned sales, but at the time, it was horrible, especially the micromanagement, and it was just a very, very toxic place to work. Now, I was there for a while. I was there for about 4.5 years, until I moved to a new job within Sky as a media operator. Now, this was something more so in my field, more so what I wanted to do. So as I was a media operator, it was a completely different job in the sense that it was very chilling. I didn't have to do much. Even at that time, I was working on my online businesses because it was so chilling. I could have my own laptop there and work on those, right? So I did that. I was there for about 1.5 years. And then you know what? At this point, I was like, I'm so tired of waking up early, so tired of doing 12-hour shifts. I'm so tired of having to listen to someone else and follow what they tell me to do. I want to make money for myself. I want to make a lot more money, and I want to live in a better place, right? Which, to be fair, every single person wants to do. But who has the balls to say, I'm going to quit my job, take the biggest risk of my life, and move straight to Dubai? So when I did that, I had no money, I had no savings, a little bit of online income, but it wasn't enough to survive on. And the thing is, right, here in Dubai, it's actually illegal to be homeless. So you can imagine the pressure that was on me to succeed, right? Because when I moved for 3 months initially, because I was like, okay, cool, I've got 3 months to make it work. If I don't, I'll come back to the UK. So when I moved to Dubai, I was applying for jobs after jobs. And if you guys know what it's like to apply for jobs here, it's very, very difficult. You don't get jobs just like that. You have to really stand out. And to be honest, even if you stand out, it's very, very difficult. So I applied for jobs after jobs. I got interviews after interviews. I got rejection after rejection. I was very close actually for a few jobs where it was just between me and some other person, and I wasn't able to get the job. Thank God I didn't, because at the time I was like, if I'm not going to get a job, I'm just going to work on my online businesses and try and scale this. Now, because I was left in the deep end, I kind of had to make it work. That's probably what's changed my life right now. That's what's given me complete freedom to work where, when, and how I want. Now, 27 years I've been wasting my life, right? Because I left the UK when I was 27 years of age and I moved here to Dubai. I'm 28 now, I'm gonna be 29 later on. But for 27 years, I wasted so much time wishing for a better life. Now I know a lot of you guys are in the same exact position. You're wasting your life, right? You're wishing for a better life and you're not doing anything about it. Look, if you're not going to do anything about it, your life is gonna be exactly the same and it will stay the same forever, right? And I mean this. Don't think things are just randomly gonna improve. Without action, there's gonna be no reaction, right? If I didn't take that risk and move to Dubai, I would still be in the UK right now working my 9-to-5 job. If I was like a lot of you guys who are like, you know, I need to do things properly, you know, I need to have money before I do X, Y, and Z, or I need to have some things going for me before I do X, Y, and Z, you're never gonna change. Because if I was in the UK and said, okay, let me start saving money and then I'll move to Dubai, well, I wouldn't have moved. I know that for a fact I wouldn't have moved. So rather than waiting for the best opportunity, rather than trying to get yourself in a better position, why don't you just make the move anyway? Because there is no such thing as a perfect move. A lot of people think that they need to make the perfect move to do something correctly, but there is no perfect move. The perfect move is just starting, to be honest. So why are you wasting your life? Why are you sitting in your 9-to-5 job right now, watching this video, potentially, right? In your job, looking at the life I'm living right now where I'm in Dubai. I've got an apartment with a swimming pool, right? Where I was even playing FIFA on my swimming pool the other day, which is crazy. I would never have imagined this. So this is it, right? You've got to literally say to yourself, you're gonna make a change, you're gonna do something different. You need to actually make a change, because if you're just gonna stay where you are and keep making excuses, a lot of you actually complain a lot. You're sitting in your job, oh, it's hard, it's difficult, X, Y, and Z, but you're not making any change in your life. You're not starting that online business. You're not investing in yourself, right? So what do you think is gonna happen if you keep doing that? Nothing's gonna change. But honestly, guys, what are you doing with your life? Because if you are not going to change your life, then nothing's gonna happen. Like, you're not going to become successful. You have to make changes. And to be honest, I kind of understand your guys' mentality. You think something's gonna happen. You think you're gonna make change later on in your life. I was there. I used to sit in my 9-to-5 job thinking something's randomly gonna happen and things are gonna change. But I'm telling you from someone that's done it, things don't just change, right? Without action, there's gonna be no reaction. Your life is literally an accumulation of all the actions you've taken. So where you are currently is where you deserve to be. If you want something different, do things different. Because right now, your life is literally gonna stay exactly the same unless you make changes. So as I said earlier, right, if you do wanna start your own online business where I can scale you to 10K a month within 3 months of working with me, where we'll jump on a call every week and I'll guide you and give you all the strategies and systems that I'm using, that my clients are using, so we can start making you money ASAP. So if you do need any help with that, make sure you click the link in the description below and book in a call with me. And if you're struggling with mindset and that's something that's stopping you start your own online business, well, make sure you watch the video that you see on your screen and I'll see you guys there.